Hi, Mr. Margo here for PokerVIP.com with a session review of a NL50 session on microgaming. I played this most of the hands yesterday, where I played like 2.4k hands. And yeah, at the end I was really tired and made some mistakes. I'm gonna review some hands with big pots, and yeah, let's see how horrible I played back then. Okay, let's take a look at his stats. Yeah, okay. Okay, King 9, yeah, standard open here. And we get 3-bet. This guy, I remember him. He was, yeah, 3-betting a ton. Like, yeah, 30% at that point. And yeah, he was also doing it with different sizes. Sometimes, yeah, 4.5xing, sometimes only 3xing. Yeah. Okay, yeah. King 9 suited is a standard call against this range. And we flop top pair and he checks to us. Okay, he c-bets 64% and check raises 25%. Let's take a look at 3-bet pot stats. Flop and 3-bet pots, c-bet 54, and we don't have a check raise here for 3-bet pots. I should implement that in my heart. That, yeah, but okay. Yeah, I should. Yeah, 400 big blinds, I would just bet stack off here. Being a little bit deeper, I don't really like to get it in with only King 9 on the flop. Yeah, he has 25 who went to a showdown, so he isn't calling down super light. You could bet the flop and then yeah, see what he's doing. I don't really want to get check raised here. I mean, betting the flop is fine. I decided to check behind here if I remember correctly, yeah. For the reason that my hand is a better hand for 2 streets of value here against someone who is not calling down super light. And yeah, he was also had a high aggression factor and was bluffing some. So I decided to check behind and then bet turn river if he checks to me. And yeah, then go from there. I mean, I still remember this guy. He was either betting in 3-bet pots or check raising. So yeah, I mean, I haven't seen one of his check raising hands in that match, so I have no clue what he's doing. If he's bluff check raising here or check raising hands like Queen 10, for example. Yeah, and for that reason I just pot controlled the flop and checked behind. On the turn he checks the second time, yeah, and now it's a super easy value bet. And I don't think he has particularly much. I mean, he probably would bet a check on the turn and would probably bet every better hand. So yeah, 2/3 pot is fine, and he check calls, and yeah, that's strange with what hands he would check call here. I mean, maybe a jack, maybe his hand like 10s, 9s, 7s, 8s, yeah. So on the river we have a value bet because I don't think he will check call ace queen here. That's the most likely hand that has a speed here. I don't really think he would check flop and then check call turn. Yeah, I don't think he has a backdoor flush because he would most likely lead out on the turn. So we value bet against a hand like a jack X or a, yeah, 7s to 9s. So our sizing should not be too big. I bet 13 and 21. And he calls and shows us, yeah, pocket 7, so he made a pretty loose call. Okay, I win the pot. Next hand. And here there are some hands against this guy, but I haven't filtered the hands against a specific opponent, so we will see changing opponents. Okay, pocket 9s. Let's see, we are 200 big blinds deep. So against 100 big blinds, if he, I guess, yeah, he 3-bet again. 100 big blind, this would be against a 29%, would be a super easy 4-bet get it in. Yeah, but 200 big blinds deep, I don't think I can 4-bet it for value. I mean, if he plays super weak post flop, you can 4-bet lighter here for value, but but yeah, not 4-bet getting it in, but hands like ace jack or so against someone who calls 4-bets and yeah, doesn't really bluff much post flop, you can just 4-bet for value here lighter. With my hand, I don't really like it because there will be overcards on most boards, and yeah, against a somewhat aggressive player like he is, it won't be easy to play. So yeah, just call on the flop. We hit second pair, so this is a pretty standard call. I mean, there's no real reason to raise here. Yeah, and folding is out of the question against 30%. On the turn, an overcut comes, and yeah, we hit a gut shot. And yes, he bets half pot again. I don't really know what his bet size means. Maybe he's a little bit afraid of the jack because I could have hands like 10-9 or maybe queen jack or so. Yeah, but I don't think this is a bluff. I mean, I rarely think it's a bluff. Yeah, I mean, when he bets on the turn with a bluff, I think he would bet bigger. And there are some bluffs out there who can barrel the turn, like a backdoor or straight draws. Yeah. So yeah, and the problem is with these loose turn calls. If I decide to call here with 2 overcards on the board, I will have a hard time calling the river unless I hit a 10 or a 9. Yeah. So calling here, I mean, I get good odds, but rivers are hard to play against an aggressive guy, and yeah, he has shown me that he can value bet kind of thin, so yeah, I decide to fold. Yeah, okay. Next hand, okay. Yeah, min raise. Oh, that's the same guy, I guess. Yeah, he 3-bets, and yeah, easy call, 9-10 suited. We hit an open ender. And he checks, so we should just bet and take it down. Yeah, we bet and he calls. And on the turn we hit. Oh, and I just see, yeah, the hands are not in the right order. So, yeah. But I don't care. I just adjust at his stats at the time being. Okay. Yeah, on the turn we hit the nuts, basically. I mean, he won't check call ace 10 here and never has a flush, so yeah, we just bet get it in on the turn. Yeah, but he leads into us. So what's our play here? Well, what kind of hands can he do it? He can probably do it with a hand like king jack that he check out on the flop for yeah some reason, because he didn't want to bet and yeah, want to pot control. He could do it with like a draw, like a combo draw, a 10x with a 10 of clubs or so. Yeah, maybe that. But his bet size is so small, I don't really think he has a value hand here, and yeah, the only real play is to raise here. And what sizing? I mean, the board is super draw. We just, I mean, when we raise pot size here, we are already almost all in, so we can just shove. And I shoved, yeah. And he ended up calling. And yeah, he showed queen jack. So that's a ridiculous line by him. I mean, check calling a super drawy flop with top 2 and then leading out and shipping it all in on a on an ugly turn card. Yeah, that's just super bad by him. Next hand, yeah, same guy. Queen jack against this guy. Can 3-bet it for value against him. We are a little bit deeper, so I don't really like to 3-bet too thin for value with hands like this. Yeah, I decided to call here. And yeah, on that flop he's folding to check raise 75% of the time so far, so we should check raise here. Yeah, we check raise flop and he calls. Okay. Turn is a 9. That's not a good card. He won't fold a 10. He won't fold a 9. I mean, he isn't folding anything that he peeled the flop with, except for maybe the same hand when we barrel here. Oh, I bet. Yeah, that's a bad bet. I don't really know why I did it. I mean, he is folding 75% to check raises, so he has some kind of hand, and he's never folding anything on the turn here. That's a bad bet, yeah. First league spotted here. That's really, really bad. Yeah, and he obviously calls, and on the river, please don't bet. Yeah, okay. I mean, I never have an ace here when I check raise flop barrel turn, and yeah, he won't fold a 10 and a 9, obviously. So easy check fold here, he bets, yeah, and we fold. Yeah, but that's a really bad bet on the turn. Okay, next hand. Yeah, same guy, always 3-bet hands. Yeah, he 3-betted turn. A7 against someone 3-betting 30%. Easy call here. And on the flop he checked. And that board is pretty dry. Not dry, pretty wet. Yeah, could just make a stab at it. And yeah, try to take it down and hope he check folds on that board. I don't really know what the dynamic was at that point, because yeah, regarding check folds in 3-bet pots. I mean, he's 3-bet a ton, so I should have better reads on that. Yeah. So, but just betting here and hoping he check folds is fine. Okay, he check calls. And on the turn I hit a pair. I mean, which hand could he check call with? He showed in the last hand that he can check call with strong hands on draw boards, but I think he has a medium strength hand here most of the time when he check calls, like 9x. Yeah, probably 9x most of the time, like 10-9 or 9-jack, and with backdoors, and that he check calls here. And I decide to barrel against those hands on the turn. I don't really know if I like that play. I think it's kind of good because all those hands will have a bad river decision if I then go for a 3-barrel here. I mean, his check call range on the flop is most 9x, and yeah, maybe weak queen x. And yeah, so I decide to go for a 3-barrel here, I guess. I hope, like, when he check calls, and on the river that's a really bad card to 3-barrel. Yeah, now I remember the hand. On the flop I decided to go for a 3-barrel, but yeah, on the river, and yeah, that's just a bad board run out. I mean, no draw got in, and yeah, he won't fold a 9 or queen here. I mean, he won't fold 10s and jacks, which he could play that way. I mean, that's just a super dry board run out, and yeah, he won't fold any of those pot controlling hands that he is check calling twice here. So river bluff would be horrible. Yeah, I decide to check behind. Maybe I win like 10% of the time when he shows a draw or so. And yeah, pocket 8s. So yeah, against that hand my plan was pretty good on the flop. Just betting, but yeah, I mean, that board run out is really bad for that. I mean, when the river is a jack or so, I mean, there's no way he can call with a hand like 8s or a 9x. So yeah, we will have good river hands, and I can also value bet a 7 or an ace. Yeah. Okay, that wasn't played so bad. Next hand, same guy. Okay, min raise. Yeah, 9-10 off, standard call. and he bets with a gut shot. It's there that you can call or raise here. I would call. I would prefer a call here, just because this is a board that doesn't get barreled so often. Yeah. I would much rather call on a board that doesn't get barreled when I have a float or a gut shot or a draw. Just because you can take it on the turn away. Yeah. So yeah, I called, and yet turn's not that great. I decided to bet the turn to get him off his. I mean, he is winning 30%, so he has some total garbage chance, like 7 high or so here on the turn, that he will just check fold because he doesn't see any fold equity, which is right to check fold, like 7-5 suited here or so. So I just bet really small to get him off his complete air hands and like king highs, jack highs, and he decides to check call. So he has some kind, maybe 9s, 10s, jacks, or ace high a lot. Yeah. And on the river I hit a 9, and yeah, I check behind and hope I can show it down against ace high. I don't think he will fold like 10s or jacks. So yeah, check it down and show it down. Yeah, he played aces that way, which is fine. Yeah, I mean, I've lost the minimum against that hand here. Okay, same guy, next hand. Pocket 7s. Again, 200 big blinds deep. Just call. And on the flop, that's a pretty dry board. And we have 7s. You can, yeah, go just for a pot control line here. He isn't folding to c-bets a lot, so don't really like c-betting here. And then him check calling, and yeah, there will be bad, most of the turn or river cards will be bad and overcards. So I have to check behind most turns, and yeah, fold a lot of rivers. So I just check behind here and hope to get a good turn card. Good turn card being like a king, a 9, a deuce, or yeah, obviously a 7 or any card lower than a 7. Yeah, I just go for a pot controller, and turn card is kind of good, and he's leading out. Yeah, I don't really have yeah, some reads with what hands he's leading out here, but I've seen him lead out here with yeah, all kinds of hands. He sometimes showed down yeah, complete air. One thing, he has often check called the turn in spirit pots a lot with showdown hands, like second pair, third pair kind of hands. So I'm a lot happier with my call here on the turn against his size here. And on the river, the ace rolls off. He is now checking, and yeah, can I bluff off king? I don't really think so, and yeah, only better hands I could bluff off are like pocket 8s or so. Yeah, that's the only hand I think. And I check behind, and he shows down 6s, yeah. Okay, next hand, same guy. Okay, queen 4 suited is kind of loose to call a 3-bet here, but he's 3-betting 30% and we are deep, so I like to call those suited hands. Yeah, and on the flop you see, but yeah, easy call. You don't really want to raise here, just call and hope you get to showdown and can showdown your pair. And now he double barrels on that ace high board. I don't think he will ever barrel that board as a pure bluff. I mean, oh, I called. I think folding the turn is fine. I think he is aggressive enough to value bet like 6s plus here, and maybe even a 5. And yeah, obviously any ace, so I'm only bluff catching on a board where he is not where it is not very likely that he bluffs, so yeah. Turn call is bad. On the river, yeah. I don't think I can bluff here. I mean, I don't think he folds hands like pocket nines or so. Not really sure. Maybe if I just shove it all in, he will fold those hands, but yeah. I mean, I can showdown and maybe hope that he's has a bluff here. Maybe it's spades. Yeah, showdown. And yeah, he has a pocket nines. Okay, I haven't seen that hand, but yeah. As I said, turn call is pretty bad, and yeah. Now I realize why that session was not so great for me. I played really bad. Okay, next hand. King Queen, we get 3-bet. Oh man, this is a video about 3-bet pots. So, yeah. We have the King Queen, so we call. We could also put this in our 4-bet value range against someone who calls 4-bets a lot, but we didn't have a really big 4-bet game going on, so I decided to just call against him because I gave myself a pretty nice post-flop edge against him. Yeah. And yeah, 2 overcards and a gut shot. You could raise that board, but I don't really want to raise off my equity if he decides to shove over a raise here. I mean, I have pretty nice equity against anything. Yeah, and I just call here. On the turn he bets again and I decide to fold. I mean, yeah, I don't think we get the right odds on the turn to justify a call here. Well, let's see, turn. Yeah, need to win around 30% here, and we won't hit it. Yeah, king, queen, or jack enough of the time to justify that play. You could make an argument for raising the turn as a bluff, but against him, yeah, I mean, he is not a real big showdown monkey and he is barreling. Let's see his barrel frequencies. 3-bet pots, flop 50% and then turn, yeah. So he's barreling quite some turns, and yeah, I mean, with all his draws on the turn, yeah, that's the reason against barreling. I mean, he can bet call flush draws or straight draws like queen jack or yeah, clubs on the turn, so I think folding is the more solid play here. Okay, next hand. Okay, now he 3-bets to 3x. Yeah. And we're only 100 big blinds deep. So king jack is a standard call here. Yeah, we hit top pair, and this was the beginning of the match, and yeah, I mean, almost 300 hands, but yeah, he was pretty aggro in 3-bet pots. So against an aggro guy, you want to let him barrel when you have it. I mean, that board is not so drawy. There are some draws like gut shots or one open end. There are 2 open enders possible. Yeah. But I decided to just call here and let him barrel it off. And yeah, he barrels on the turn, which is a pretty bad card to pure bluff here. So I think he has some kind of hand. But yeah, when I just raise here, I think he might even fold at like 10s or so, that he will maybe barrel off on the river. And yeah, so I decided just to call, and river stack sizes are also fine, so that he can just jam it in with his bluff if he ever has like queen 10 or so. Yeah, I mean, and against queen 10, if he decides to double barrel that, I mean, if if the king rolls off, I will win with a full house, and yeah. And he jams it in. I make the call. And he shows Jack 6. Yeah, so I got coolered here, but no real reason that my play was bad. I mean, you could raise the flop, but we would have gotten it in either way, so yeah, just a cooler. Okay. Now a hand. Yeah, that's against him. Okay, he was short stacking before. Yeah. Now he defends passive. Yeah. I just bet the flop with my queen's get raised, and yeah, just 3-bet. And he calls, and on the turn he just chips it all in, and yeah, obviously I call with my over pair, and he shows down the jack 9, so I win that pot. Okay, next hand, ace king. Yeah, against someone. Yeah, that's one moment. Yeah. Okay, I don't really know why the stats aren't changing. I mean, that is obviously another opponent. I think that was another opponent. Maybe it was the same opponent at the start of the match. Yeah, maybe it was. He was doing different sizes. Yeah, he was 3-betting different sizes. Yeah, yeah, easy 4-bet, and yeah, just chip it in against his stack size. Yeah, that's not interesting. We win a flip, so don't really care. Yeah, this is another opponent. Nice. We have the 10s. I hope this is not just a pre-flop all in. Yeah, okay, we get it in with 10s, so yeah. No really interesting hand. Okay, against him. So now we have some interesting hands. Okay. He checks on the flop, and yeah, he's c-betting 60, folding to c-bet 67% of the time. And so I should just go for a c-bet against him, and I decide to check behind. Maybe because he is never betting out of position and always trying to get to showdown, and I decide to just check it down with ace high. But I like a bet here more. I mean, the likelihood of getting to a showdown with ace high here is not that great, so yeah. And he leads the turn, and yeah, I have a flush draw, so I call. And on the river I hit my flush, and he bets big. Oh yeah, I remember that hand. And I decide to raise him here for value, and he decides to to 3-bet here. That's a pretty ugly spot to be in. I mean, with the nut flush I need 31% to call him here. What hands could he have that he leads on the turn? And then, I mean, he could have queen 9, 9, 6, 9. Yeah, I probably doesn't have 9 deuce with this call steal. Yeah, probably pocket deuces that beat me. Maybe he's 3-betting the river with a pure 9 because he's a fish or so. And yeah, maybe he's, I mean, he's never bluffing the river. I don't think he's ever bluffing here. I think maybe he is just, yeah, 3-betting a lower flush here. She just let out on the turn. I mean, we don't really have a hand sample to justify that. Any player, yeah. So it really is a guessing game, and I would guess that most of the opponents 3-betting the river here are always full, and I should just fold here. I mean, the value raise is fine because I just get called by so many worse hands. I get called by any 9, I can call by any flush, but once he 3-bets, I think he always has a full house. So yeah, I think I should just fold here. Yeah, in the game I ended up calling because yeah, it was such a fucked up spot. But yeah, that's pretty undisciplined to call here. I mean, I should just fold. Yeah, nothing more to say here. And yeah, not being result oriented, but yeah. I mean, when he always has it, he obviously has it this time. Yeah, he had rivered the full house. Yeah, pretty bad river card for me overall. Yeah, and he wins that part. Again, a hand where I should have folded. He's obviously showing a lot of strength, and yeah, there are a lot of hands that beat me in his range, and not really any bluffs. So I should just fold then. Next hand. Let's see how this works out. Okay, we just get it in. Kings. Yeah, flopping quads is always nice. Flopping quads against aces is always nice. Yeah, I mean, that's not really interesting. Okay. Yeah, we get 3-bet by a guy who 3-bets a lot, so we defend our ace 3. And yeah, on the flop we just call. No real other play makes sense. So we call the flop and he barrels the turn. Let's see his stats. Flop c-bet only 42% and then turn c-bet 50%, so he isn't really barreling that much. There are some draws out there that he can barrel, but I don't really. I mean, he has 34% 3-bet, so he has overcards a lot of the time. I just guess that he is just 3-betting a lot of broadways and so, but I don't really think that he will likely be barreling this with pure air. I mean, it's not a good board, it's a paired board, and yeah, I'm not folding much on her. I should just go ahead and make a fold here. At least in game I decided to make a call. Yeah, again, this is hard to play on the river if he decides to go for 3 barrels. So yeah, river card sucks. If he was barreling with hands like 9-10 or Jack-10, he now got there. So river sucks. He bets half pot. Wow, I call. This is really bad. Wow. Yeah, this is really bad. I mean, he's never bluffing here. His size is half pot, so he is value betting. Probably he doesn't like the 9 and is value betting some head like 10-9. Yeah. Or like all over pairs where he thinks, yeah, I might have an 8 and he doesn't want to lose that big. But calling here is so bad. I mean, to justify that call, he has to just 3-barrel most of his overcards here. Yeah, and I don't think he makes that ever. Yeah, as I said, it was a loose value bet on the turn, a thin value bet. Yeah, not really thin against my range, but yeah, my call is just horrible. Yeah, this was probably after grinding like 12 hours straight, and then yeah, I just played so bad, and because of that I'm just doing this review just to prove to yourself that you played so bad, and it's a good way to then say, yeah, next time I will play more concentrated or think about his range more. I mean, most likely I just called here flop or was just frustrated because I got sucked out on another table, and then just said, yeah, this board doesn't hit his range very well, he probably has so many overcards here or pure bluffs. Yeah, but I mean, that's a really bad board to 3-barrel bluff on. Even though, I mean, when I call 2 times, I show so much strength on that hand. I always have showdown value, and then yeah, his river barrel as a pure bluff would be insane. Okay, I think I will stop this video here and then continue in the next video. I mean, you have seen me play some bad hands, some good hands, where I agree, but that were too many bad hands, so yeah. But now I know better and I can play better in the future. Okay, let's, yeah. Okay, I don't know what to say. Yeah, as I said, always try to improve your game. And yeah, we will see us on the next part. This was Mr. Margo for PokerVP.com.